previously on Balls.
Now going to get Bradley Carnell up. Bradley, in case you forget, guys, he played 12 years in the Bundesliga, this lad, right? He's not just your ordinary ex-footballer. To play 12 years in the Bundesliga and come back with a German wife is quite an achievement. Bradley now runs football at the University of Johannesburg. He is also doing Madiba Day stuff today. We'll talk to him about that. And we'll also talk to him about, I know that John Perlman and a couple of other imagine Mark Gleeson as well, all the football journalists in this country and myself included, we get loads of emails and Twitters and stuff from people saying, I've got what it takes, can you find me a club? And what Bradley's doing is getting hold of, a trial situation. He's come up with a situation which he's going to explain to us. I need the exact times and dates from him. I know the venue changed. And he's going to get that in and we'll have a look at them. Bradley, it's Neil Collins. How are you?
Yes. Neil, all right, and you?
Bradley, I'm just telling my my listeners that you're the guy that's putting together the kind of development program that we all talk about. Gordon Igeson has been on this show not 5 minutes ago saying how much we need to look at our youth structures. That we've unearthed a couple of people up there at the Kasafa Cup. And Bradley, as I understand it, first, Bradley, can you just take me through what are you doing at UJ for Madiba Day? What's your personal 67 minutes for the 95th birthday of Nelson Mandela?
It's not at UJ directly, Neil. On Sunday we have our annual Boots for Dreams. I'm part of a NPO, non-charitable organisation, Boots for Dreams, where we donate and collect used or unused football kits and what have you. And then we're having a football clinic there. We're expecting about 160 kids down at one of the local schools here in the south of Johannesburg, underprivileged areas, where we offer a sort of a vast service in terms of a whole day's activities, all based around football and life skills. This year's quite nicely supported in terms of sponsors, and Pick and Pay got involved, Unilever got involved. So there's been a couple of nice companies getting behind us and backing us for this day. So we're really looking forward to this. We cater for kids for between the ages of 8 and 15 years of old age. We're going to do a bit of a coach the coaches program and put them through their paces as well. So yes, it's quite a lot bigger than last year. So yeah, all the planning and pre-events are going down for Sunday.
Brilliant, Bradley. I mean, it's such a relief to have someone like you out there with your experience and all the things that you've done in football in this country, and you come back and you're giving something back. Now, so anyone between 8 and 15 can come along. Is there an email address you can give us for people to get further information?
For that one, the Boots for Dreams, it's already done. There's been a pre-selected. We've gone to some underprivileged schools already, so we've done a drive in terms of this and pre-selected these kids because, in terms of logistics and planning and preparation and arranging numbers of coaches and what have you, we have had the limit at 160 kids, and we're already at that limit for that day. But I mean, there are a vast couple of things happening as well at UJ for Saturday, if I can just mention this, Neil. Saturday, obviously this is at this time of season again where everybody's looking for new recruits and new players and new athletes to come in and express themselves. So the UJ facility in Auckland Park, Bunting Road campus, we will be having a scouting session, a trial day for young aspiring athletes from the ages of 17 to 20 who are currently in grade 12 or they've been out of school for a year. They've taken maybe a gap year in thinking what they need to do with their lives. If they are any good and want to study further, the UJ is hosting trials this weekend. We did pre-plan it for Soweto campus, but unfortunately there's a huge SASCOC event taking place there. So we'll be doing it at our home base at the Auckland Park Bunting Road campus, and we're expecting a decent turnout there as well. And who knows, we found some decent players coming through these type of trial days. One of my players currently are expected to be signing PSL papers in the next month or two for January after his studies. So, it is a very good contracted program or connected program, I should say, in terms of, just with regards to myself and then the network that we possess, we are able to offer these kids now, we've got a platform to express themselves and offer them an education and play football at a decent level possible,
Well, that's the brilliant thing, Bradley, is that not only are you satisfying the craving for a decent football coaching situation for these kids, but you're also providing them with when you talk about the UJ thing with an education and a background and
Yes.
a kind of a
Look,
level.
we do take this very seriously, the educational aspect, because we all know, we're all realistic as well. You know, there's only a handful of athletes or players or kids that become potentially professional players. What happens to the other 95% or the 98% that don't make it? So, you know, if you can sort of, you know, have serve your objective on two different parties, you know, giving these kids an education and playing at the highest level and exposing them to a network of resources that can get them in the channel of this PSL or a professional lifestyle. So, yeah, education is hugely important. And again, varsity football is picking up. On Monday is the kickoff of Varsity Cup football, which runs in a similar fashion to the rugby. So, you know, it's picking up another notch, and there's going to be a lot of exposure, a lot of media hype going around this event as well. So, you know, it's football in that developmental space between those age groups has become a whole lot more interesting as it was for a couple of years ago.
Right, Brad, I'm just on Twitter now saying I've got Brad's on now talking trials, youngsters who want to go places. Is there a website or an email address that I could quickly pop on there so that people can actually contact you? If not for these set of trials, you've got two situations coming up, one for 8 to 15, one for your grade 12s and beyond. Is there a place they can go and just like pop their name on your list or anything like that?
They can gladly email me directly, hey, info@bradleycarnell.com. And for that, we are going to, you know, go through all the lists and what have you. And it's more of a pitch up and play. We'll be there from 9 o'clock in the morning at the Auckland Park Bunton Road campus. And depending on turnout and numbers, you know, we'll arrange it accordingly. But we'll spend the whole day out there putting these kids through their paces and seeing what they have to offer.
Mate, that's exactly what I was hoping to get from you. Because like I say, there's so many people out there that think they've got what it takes. I'm not in a position to tell them whether they're good enough or not, but you are, mate. I'm just, guys, if you're out there, have a look at Bradley's background, the years that he spent in Germany, starting off at Wits, years in Germany, back, and Chiefs, and then back. Couple of seasons at Supersport, and now giving something back, Bradley. Bradley, who are you? We talked yesterday. Who are you looking at these players with? Who will be helping you to sift through these players and find the stars?
Well, one of the co-trainers at my facility is the old football legend as well, Mandla Zwane, who also spent some time in Porto at Porto in Portugal, and that's where he was privileged to be under Sir Bobby Robson at that stage, and as well as a short stint with Mourinho. So. Mandla Zwane, myself, Mandla played here at Pirates. He played for Supersport, so he has been around the local leagues as well and had some overseas experience. So between the two of us, you know, I think you know, that's enough in terms of experience. We will have one or two of our other football coaches walking around there and some technical staff just monitoring, because the more eyes, the merrier. But you know, as long as we keep an eye on this and make sure that we are looking for what we want to, and that's one of the things that I've found, Neil, over the last couple of months that I have been involved at this amateur development football. People often sort of overemphasize or judge their own capabilities. You know, we've had so many emails of players coming in, and it's not just about the talent, Neil. There's so many criteria and influences and ingredients that go through into the molding and the making of a potentially pro athlete. And it's unfortunately, when you're dealing with this age group between the ages of 17 and 20, they already, you know, in a certain way of thinking. And unfortunately, sometimes the mental aspects or the character aspects of these certain individuals, and that's where they go lacking, because there's so many of them that have the talent, but already expect a type of service or already expect a type of platform to be on, where, you know, you got to do the dirty work. You have to go through the different levels, and you have to be patient. You have to be humble. And again, you must also believe in your abilities, but not overemphasizing only the football aspect. Hey, there's so much about it with the life skills. So that's also part of the program, is teaching these kids how to work with their bodies, work with their minds, work with their nutrition, work with the sports scientists, and that's the beauty about the university.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love, mate. Speaking to Stuart Baxter about it at Kaiser Chiefs, is that word life skills coming into a footballer's repertoire hasn't always been done very well. I mean, if you remember right back to George Best and more recently the way that some of the young English professionals behave when they first get into the game. There's no magic trick for becoming a successful footballer like Ryan Giggs. A lot of people fall by the wayside, and I'm hoping, Bradley, that you can instill some of the stuff you picked up in your time at at Wits and Chiefs, and then Stuttgart, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Karlsruhe, Hansa Rostock, and then finally at Supersport. That's some career, mate. Did you watch Bafana last night at all?
I just picked up bits and pieces at the end. We had a function at the university. We were having a pre-season friendly during that time, so I just managed to watch the penalty shootout. And pretty gutted. But at least they took Zambia, all the way. And unfortunately, it's a flip of a coin at a penalty shootout. So unfortunately, the coin didn't flip our side last night. But it gives a nice platform to these new youngsters shining through and coming through the ranks, and give some other players some sense of responsibility who've been there and thereabouts. Now they were the big fish. Wayne Sandilands coming into the fray now in terms of a captain. So it's a nice honour for him, and it again takes over a new role of respect without the pressures of a Cooney, breathing down his neck. So it was a chance for him to express himself as well as the other players as well.
Yeah, I thought it worked out quite well in the end. Given all the shenanigans around the selection of the first squad and then the second squad, I think we came out of it quite well, as we were just saying to Gordon. Great stuff, Bradley. Well, listen, I've put up your email address on Twitter if anyone wants to kind of look at Brad's and on Twitter. What is it? BRADZC, isn't it? Brad's BRADZC.
BRADZC. That's the Twitter handle, and then obviously the email address info@ and then my name and surname bradleycarnell.com.
That's right. Or you can look at NEALCOL Neil Cole on Twitter, and you can find how to become a footballer with life skills. I mean, that to me, that's the big thing, Bradley. And the best of luck. I hope you find some talent, and good luck with your Madiba Day trials as well for the younger ones. And we'll be speaking later and finding out just where you're taking UJ on the football front. Thank you, Bradley Carnell.
100%.
Great stuff.
Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Brad.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.